Hello YouTube and welcome to the channel. Today we are talking about my vinyl finds from the month of July 2021. Hope you're all doing well, having a great day, great night whenever it is you're watching this. Hope you're finding some great records for your collection. So yeah, we're going to talk about my vinyl finds for July. I will ask, as always, please think about subscribing if you're watching this and you aren't subscribed. The analytics show that only about 11% of the people who watch my videos are subscribed. So that really helps the channel out, helps me grow, helps new people find the channel. So I really would appreciate it if you would subscribe if you're a regular watcher of my videos. So that'll help you keep up to date with all the videos I make. And you don't have to watch them all, but that's just a way to help out the channel. So I really would appreciate that. So let's get on to it. As I said, July, yeah, crazy month in July. The thrift stores, I have a huge stack of stuff from thrift stores here. Got some antique mall finds. I've been around digging in some antique malls. We had record store day. I've got a lot of new releases, lots and lots to talk about. This is going to be a long video, so without making it any longer, let's go ahead and get into it. The first thing we got here is a new release, piece of blues music, and this is the new one from Cedric Burnside, and it's titled I Be Tryin', released in July. Really great one from Cedric Burnside. Some great classic blues stuff here. Really nice Stoughton jacket on this. Really killer gatefold with some photography in it. Some great photography in it. And this is pressed on what I think they called Mississippi mud vinyl. Not exactly sure. I think that's what they called it. Go ahead and get to the vinyl here in a minute. There's an insert with liner notes on it, which is nice. And yeah, I don't know if I'd call this Mississippi mud, but pretty cool sort of marbled red, white, and blue on clear vinyl. Let me dig out this had an OB strip on it. I'll go ahead and dig this out, figure out what this is a new record label to me. I hadn't heard of this one before, but it's just Mississippi colored vinyl. 1,500 copies was the run on this on Single Lock Records. And Single Lock Records is an independent record label with offices in Muscle Shoals in New Orleans. We release the best in Southern American music post-genre. So there's a couple other releases from them. They do a lot of different types of music, so that's pretty cool. I'll have to look more into some of their other releases. If you're familiar with the label and there's a release that you think I should check out, definitely let me know in the comments section down below. But yeah, I've been really enjoying this new Cedric Burnside record. Okay, next thing I have to talk about is my one and only Drop 2 vinyl find from the Record Store Day 2021 Drop 2. That was July, when was that? July 17th, I think it was. Didn't go out in the morning, didn't get in line, just went later in the day. Happened to be going by the record store, and I thought, what the heck, I'm just going to stop in, see what's left over, see if there's anything that interests me. And there was something there that I was kind of somewhat interested in, and went ahead and picked it up. And this is the John Prine release called Stay Independent, the Oh Boy Years. There were actually, I believe, two John Prine releases for Record Store Day Drop 2. There was a live 3 or 4 LP set. I do want to try to pick that up at some point. I think I'm going to wait on that one. They made a lot of them. I think the price is going to go down on that one. So I'm waiting on that one. But I did pick up this one. A compilation of his work from Oh Boy Records that was put together by independent record store owners, some of their favorite John Prine tracks. So yeah, just a nice little comp of John Prine's stuff here. Don't have much of his on vinyl, so I wanted to grab that part of the sleeve. And then here's John Prine in some indie record stores, so that's pretty cool. And this is on colored vinyl, nice, very kind of a lipsticky red colored vinyl. Very nice color there. So yeah, that was a nice John Prine release. Really great comp. I've been enjoying listening to that as well. That was a really nice pickup from Record Store Day. That was my one and only Record Store Day pickup. Okay, the next thing I wanted to talk about is another somewhat recent reissue that I've been kind of on the fence about. I wasn't sure if I wanted to get it, and I thought, you know what, I should really get this. The price is very reasonable on it. It's a really nice package, and that is the reissue of the reissue of Tom Petty's Wildflowers, and this is called Wildflowers and All the Rest because there is a bonus LP included with this that features some bonus tracks. The album itself is on first two LPs, and then the third LP has about 10 bonus tracks on it. Really, really nice package, really well pressed, sounds incredible, and really reasonably priced, as I said. So yeah, this is, I'll take a look at the back there. And then the triple LP set, so three, there's the first side of the gatefold, and then it opens up like that. Yeah, really, really nicely done. I'll go ahead and pull out one of the LPs. This is on black vinyl, and this one just has lyrics on it, but there are some photos on the other LPs, and then they did a sort of a somewhat tribute to the old Warner Brothers label from the early 60s, late 50s. Really nice there. Yeah, just sounds incredible. Really, really nice package. I'm sure if you're a Tom Petty fan that you definitely picked this one up already. And there's another separate release of extras as well that go along with this. So some outtakes, alternate takes, that kind of thing. But yeah, Tom Petty's Wildflowers and All the Rest. I went ahead and grabbed this really nice package, and I'm glad to have it in my collection. All right, the next thing I want to share with you is, I think this is the first time this has ever been released, but it's a vintage recording from 1970, I believe, and this is the Neil Young Shakespeare performance. Really, really excellent performance. I kept hearing great things about this, and at first I had sort of said, it's just another Neil Young sort of bonus thing. I don't need to have that. It's not one of his studio albums. But the more and more I heard about this, the more and more I wanted to hear it. Another one that's pretty reasonably priced considering it's Neil Young. Normally his stuff is higher priced, but this is very reasonably priced. Nice, really awesome live performance of his. The gatefold image, very, very nicely done. Nice stout, heavyweight Stoughton jacket. And that is on black vinyl, just one single LP. Yeah, that's one of the things. I don't know if they did that to keep the cost down or whatnot, but this is quite a long live set, and it's pressed on one LP, so it's kind of packed on there a bit, but it sounds good nonetheless. It is mastered from digital. Be aware of that if you're an analog stickler. This was cut from a 9624 digital file. Yeah, so Neil Young's Young Shakespeare. Glad to have picked that one up as well. Okay, the next thing I have to share with you is a suggestion from my friend Logan over at Swellheads Network. I talked about this recently in one of his videos, and it's from an artist I really recently discovered for myself just a little over a year ago now with the album Ghost Teen, and that's Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, and he said this one was really good, and I checked it out, and this is Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, Push the Sky Away. Really cool album cover with him and his wife on there. Just sort of an outtake from a photo session they did, and turned out really cool. Yeah, a really nice single LP release of this album. I definitely enjoyed this. I need to listen to it some more. I don't know if I like it better than Ghost Teen. I really love Ghost Teen. That album was just, it brought tears to my eyes. It was just so beautiful and so heart-wrenching. But yeah, I like this as well. Didn't really make me cry, but it's good. Very, very good music. Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, kind of a very moody indie rock kind of sound. Black vinyl, white label. There is an insert with lyrics on it as well. Yeah, 2013 was the original release for this one. So yeah, it's Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, Push the Sky Away. So as of now, I have this one and I have Ghost Teen. Let me know where I should go next with Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds if you're into the group. All right, next thing I have to share with you was a release from last year, another one that I missed originally, and I just felt I really need to have that. I really want to have that. As I said, I'm kind of behind on my listening to the All Songs Considered podcast, and I've been catching up on releases from last year, and they talked about this in one of the episodes I was recently listening to, and I thought, yeah, I really should have got that when it came out, and I didn't. And that was the new one from Sufjan Stevens, titled The Ascension. A really nice release, although very, very dark. It's kind of an album where Sufjan Stevens kind of became disillusioned with the American situation, the American political scene, the social scene, all that stuff that's been going on over the past several years. So yeah, very dark, a bit of a different, very political kind of album from Sufjan Stevens, but I've really been enjoying this quite a bit, so I was glad to have picked that up. And this one has photos and lyrics on the inner sleeves, and this is just a black vinyl pressing of it, 2 LP set, really long album, but really good, and glad to have picked this one up, and I'm looking forward to exploring it some more and getting more familiar with it. Okay, the next thing I picked up is a reissue, and I don't know, this is something that I thought had gone out of print, and then I started seeing some show up on Discogs again, and I wasn't sure if it's been repressed or whether somebody just found some in a warehouse somewhere. I haven't really heard anything else about it, but this is something I wanted, and which, as I said, it just went out of print on me, and I saw that it came up on Discogs at the record store in the record store in St. Augustine, Tone Vendor, and it was like 2 or 3 days before we were going to St. Augustine for fireworks for the 4th of July, and I'm like, can you just hold this for me? I'm going to be there in a few days. I'll pick it up. I plan on going to the record store anyway there because I love that store. If you're ever in St. Augustine, Florida, definitely go to Tone Vendor Records. Killer store. But yeah, this is something very much an 80s nostalgia piece for me, and that is Motley Crue's Dr. Feelgood. And yeah, this one I wanted it for years. It's a nostalgic thing, so I just kind of always passed on it. I'm like, it'll be there, and then in the past couple of years, this has just gone out of print, and the prices have gone up on it. So whatever happened, whether this was repressed, I don't see any signs that say it was repressed, but yeah, really cool to have this 80s nostalgia. I love this album. You got Dr. Feelgood, the title track, Rattlesnake Shake, Kickstart My Heart, Without You, Time for Change, Don't Go Away Mad, Just Go Away, She Goes Down, Same Old Situation. It's like every song on here was a hit, almost. One of those kind of albums. So I was really glad to pick this up. Nice insert with lyrics and some photos. There were some pressings of this on green vinyl, but this is not that. This is just a black vinyl pressing, which I'm fine with. I don't have to have colored vinyl pressing on that. I just wanted to have it in the collection on vinyl. Sounds incredible. Sounds really good. So that was very, very nice. Okay, the next thing I have to share, which was it was released basically on the last day of July, I think. So I don't have a lot to say about this. I've only spun it once so far. But this is a new one from Billie Eilish, Happier Than Ever. Really been enjoying this. I've heard a lot of the songs on the radio when I've been in stores and whatnot, so I was familiar with several of the tracks on here. But as an album, as a whole piece, really interesting. Really good new one from Billie Eilish. A lot different from her last release. Definitely less electronic. This is more introspective, more singer-songwritery, but still has a bit of that electronic touch to it. But yeah, really good album so far. I've been enjoying it. As I said, just released the last few days. Nice gatefold on this. This is a 2 LP set, and the inner sleeves feature these sort of very cropped close-up photos here. And this is the light yellow color that was a Walmart exclusive. I really like the color on this. It's a very pale yellow color. I think it fit the album really well, so that's the one I went for. So yeah, that's the new Billie Eilish, Happier Than Ever. Been enjoying it, and was definitely a new release for July, right at the very end there. So as I said, I'm still very new to it. And while I was picking that up, I thought, you know, I have her debut album. I just picked that one up. I might as well go ahead and pick up the EP as well and complete the collection. So this is a Billie Eilish EP. I don't know if it even has a title. Yeah, it has "Don't Smile at Me" is the title, from 2017. This one has "Ocean Eyes" on it. It's just a well-loved track from her. And again, another weirdly heavily cropped photo of her. Lyrics on the back, and then this, I think most of these are pressed on red vinyl. And this is just a standard, I think this is a standard pressing for this album, is on red vinyl. Okay, this next thing I have to share with you was another pickup I got while I was at Tone Vendor in St. Augustine for the 4th of July. Didn't just get that Dr. Feelgood album, got this as well. This is a John Prine live album, 2 LP set, on Oh Boy Records as well. And of course it has this, that was the cover to the Record Store Day release that I picked up from him. Yeah, 2 LP set, has lyrics and liner notes on it, which is nice, and these are on just black vinyl. All right, and then one more pickup from Tone Vendor. This was in their New Arrivals used bin, and I thought, what the heck, I'm going to go ahead and grab it. This is Jean-Luc Ponte's Civilized Evil. I do like some Jean-Luc Ponte, and this was pretty enjoyable stuff. Jazz fusion. Plays the violin. This one also has Randy Jackson on bass. I thought there were some more well-known people on here, but just a nice release. 1978 is the year on this one, and it's on Atlantic Records. Okay, moving on, I've got a small stack here from an antique mall in Ocala, Florida. This was the Ocala Antiques and Estate Mall, and there was a booth in there that sold all kind of different stuff, but their records were half price, and picked up, I believe, three records. Yeah, 3 records from that booth. So wanted to share those with you. First one here, 1986. Okay, Rosanne Cash, Rhythm and Romance. So 80s pop country here. Really good album. I enjoyed this. I hadn't heard it before. Yeah, good stuff. So I definitely dug this one. Nice inner sleeve with lyrics and liner notes and some photos on it. So that was a really nice find. And yeah, this was a female vocalist kind of dig for whatever reason. But next one is Samantha Fox with "I Want to Have Some Fun." There's a big hit for her. And then also another big hit on here, which is "I Only Want to Be With You," which I do not like that song. That's way too slow, but that was a big hit as well. But yeah, Samantha Fox, "I Want to Have Some Fun." And that one's on Jive Records. All right, and the next thing I have to share with you is inspired by a Nick Rudo video where I watched him do an unboxing of this artist's recent box set release of their first 4 albums, I believe. And for some reason I was watching that and I was like, I don't think I have the first one. You know, I have all the others, but for some reason I just didn't have this one. It may be in the back room back there, but I went ahead and grabbed it while I was there. But this is a nice copy and it wasn't too much. And that's Joni Mitchell's first album. I'm really glad to find this. Really neat gatefold. Lyrics on it. It's on Repurposed Records. So yeah, as I said, I may have a copy of this in the back room, but that's an ongoing project to sort of organize that and figure out what I've got. Slowly going through that and making passes and picking out 5 or 6 artists and grabbing everything of those artists and putting them into stacks, so I kind of get an idea of what I've got. Trying to get a hold of what's back there because there's just a lot to deal with, but I'll get to it eventually. All right, and then the next 5 records I have to share with you are from another antique mall. These are from the Waldo Antique Mall that is at the Waldo Flea Market. First thing I picked out while I was there is a promo copy of Neil Young and Crazy Horse with their album Life from 1987. So yeah, this does have some of that electronic kind of feel that Neil was doing in the 80s, but it's definitely a Neil Young and Crazy Horse album. Not totally like, electronic like Trans was or something like that. More of a Landing on Water feel. I think this was right around the time of Landing on Water. Definitely mixed reviews on this one, but I really, really like this one. Again, it has a very tight 80s production. It does have some electronics on it, but it's a great album. I love this album. And it was one of those albums where it's a good album, but it doesn't have like hits on it, so you don't know any of these songs if you're coming in with a fresh perspective on it. I really, really enjoyed this one quite a bit. It does have a gold stamp promo on it, so that was a nice pickup. Next up, I picked up a copy of Blondie's The Hunter albums. I don't think I had this one either. I have a pretty good Blondie collection, but I did not have this one for whatever reason. This one's from 1982. So yeah, good solid Blondie album. So grab that one. And then next I picked up a couple of K.D. Lang albums. And I wasn't sure whether I should pick them up or not, but I'm like, you don't really often see K.D. Lang on vinyl. So I went ahead and grabbed this one. This is K.D. Lang and the Reclines, Angel with a Lariat. So this was before Shadowland. Very much more of a rockabilly kind of sound on this. Definitely if you want a bit more of a rockabilly kind of sound, this is a really good album. I had not heard this before, but I thoroughly enjoyed this one. So yeah, K.D. Lang and the Reclines. From when was this released? 1987 is the year on this. And I believe this is the one that came right before Shadowland. And then, of course, speaking of Shadowland, of course, that was the other one that I found. And yeah, I definitely wanted to have this on vinyl. Very well-known, well-loved K.D. Lang album. Definitely a much more mellow album. Although, it's kind of interesting that K.D. Lang and the Reclines album that I just showed before, it ends on a very mellow song. And it flows right directly into this, like super easy. You could put them back to back and nobody would know. It just sort of flows perfectly. So that's really neat how that worked. But yeah, this is the Bob Bradley sessions, or Owen Bradley sessions. I was glad to have found a couple of K.D. Lang albums and put them in the collection. All right, then last but certainly not least, from the Waldo Antique Mall. I had to pay up a bit for this, but I thought, when am I going to see it again? Probably never. Pretty rare to see something like this. This is a German pressing of Depeche Mode's Some Great Reward, 1984. And the thing that makes this so awesome, at least in my mind, is it's pressed on gray vinyl. So yeah, they did do a series of colored vinyl pressings of these in Germany. This is one of them. They are direct metal mastered, so the sound quality is just sort of meh. It sounds okay. I think my reissue from whenever they did those reissues, 2013 or so, I think those sound better. I just wanted to have this as a sort of a cool collector's kind of piece. And the price was reasonable enough. Even it was, basically median Discogs price. So yeah, that was a cool find. I thought, what the heck, I'm gonna go ahead and splurge and pick that one up. Okay, and then I have one more stack of Antique Mall finds, and then we'll get into the thrift store finds. As I said, this is gonna be a long video. Hopefully you can either sit down and enjoy it in a nice comfy chair or on the couch, or just split it up into a couple different groups. But anyway, this next stack are from an antique mall in Ocala called Digger's Antique Mall. Pretty cool antique mall, somewhere I enjoy going once or twice a year. Decided to stop in there. I was feeling good one day and decided to go ahead and spend some time digging through records, and I found a pretty good stack here. First one I picked up from there is a Vandergraaf Generator album. This is their album World Record, and this is a UK pressing on the Mad Hatter label. So yeah, that was a really good find. Definitely paid much less than that sells for. Next one, added one more to the Larry Coryell collection, although I probably should have passed on this one because the sleeve is kind of falling apart, jacket is kind of falling apart, but this is Larry Coryell's Spaces. This one also has John McLaughlin, Chick Corea on it, and Billy Cobham. So killer lineup, excellent, excellent stuff. Definitely a much more acoustic album from Chick Corea, but not Chick, from Larry Coryell. But yeah, really nice pickup, and you know, I didn't pay a lot for it, so not a huge loss if I have to upgrade that at some point. Hopefully I'll find a nicer copy or just a nicer cover, because the album is fine, just the cover is starting to fall apart. Added a fun one to my Christmas collection. Always on the lookout for Christmas music and not the typical stuff you see all the time, Mitch Miller and stuff like that. This is Smokey Robinson and the Miracles with the Season for Miracles. So yeah, really, really nice Christmas release from them. It's got some traditional stuff. It's got some originals. Really nice to find this on the Tamla label. Next up, another cool find, kind of in the, I don't know where you put this, the folk psych genre. I don't know where you'd put it. Bo Hansen, music inspired by Watership Down. Yeah, always on the lookout for Bo Hansen stuff. This is awesome. I love listening to this. I hadn't really spent much time with Bo Hansen before, but I've seen a lot of people show this or show his stuff in the vinyl community, and was glad to finally pick one up for myself and hear it. Yeah, really, really awesome. So I was glad to have found that. Next up, a bit of prog here. Don't think I had this one before. This is Camel's Rain Dances. Got one here from the Kinks from 1978. This is their album titled Misfits. Don't have a lot of, I have some Kinks in the collection. It's weird. I have some really rare Kinks in the collection. Like I have Percy and I have some really killer stuff, but yeah, I don't have a lot of Kinks, but I have the Kink Chronicles. I have bits and pieces from all around, but yeah. Definitely didn't want to pass up on the Kinks. Another one, I always say, I'm on the lookout for these Mercury Living Presence albums, classical stuff. This is Music Hungaria. So some Hungarian classical music on the Mercury Living Presence, and this is a stereo pressing. So that was a nice find. This one was kind of just a novelty piece. I thought, the album cover is crazy. I want to hear this. This is Leon Barry, the Giant Wurlitzer, Leon Barry Volume 3 on the Audio Fidelity label, so kind of like an early audiophile kind of label. Yeah, some organ music, Wurlitzer organ music. There's the gatefold. All right, next up, another one for the Christmas collection. This one just, I had to grab it. It's you know, it's very 80s cheesy kind of stuff. This is Christmas with the Jets. 1986 is the year on this one. So yeah, it's okay. It's not great, but just something you don't see too often. So I went ahead and grabbed that one. And then the last thing I picked up from Digger's Antique Mall there, got a piece of hip-hop for the collection. This is the Dream Team, formerly known as the LA Dream Team. This is their album Back to Black. From 1989. Yeah, not what I would call a great album. Kind of a mixed bag here. This is kind of during the rise of gangster rap, and they kind of stuck with what they were doing beforehand, and it was just sort of okay. Okay, so moving on to some thrift store finds here. These first three are from the Ocala Humane Society thrift store. First one here got a private press. This is Mary and Barbara Lee. They play the Fender Rhodes organ and the piano. So it's kind of an oddity. I thought, what the heck? I'm going to go ahead and grab it. It's actually autographed on the cover here. And I just figured, what the heck? We're gonna go ahead and grab it and give it a spin just to hear it. It's too odd not to pick up in a thrift store kind of thing. It's on Miracle Records. Sounds like a religious thing, but it's not. Another Christmas one, kind of traditional, but I don't see this one too often, so I thought I'd go ahead and grab it. It's a nice clean copy of Jerry Vale's Christmas Greetings from Jerry Vale. And then Robert Rhymes, Organ and Chimes with vocals. So this is Robert Rhymes Coryells. I don't know why I'm having trouble saying that. But yeah, just another piece for the Christmas collection, potentially. Okay, so moving on to another thrift store. These are from the Repurposed Project thrift store here in Gainesville. They mainly deal in a lot of like used construction material. If you're remodeling your kitchen or your bathroom, and you got kitchen, if you got like sinks and tubs and cabinets and stuff like that, and they're in okay condition. They're just outdated. People can bring them there and donate them, and somebody can reuse it in something if they want a vintage look, or if you're doing a project and you got some tile or whatever left over and you don't know what to do with it, you can donate it there and somebody can make art with it or tile a small area or whatever, that kind of stuff. So there's into reusing things, but they do have music and records and stuff like that, so I go in there about once a month. These first two were in there. They have a bin of higher priced stuff. Normally records there are 50 cents, but these were marked up a bit. They try to pick out more interesting things and put them in their higher priced bin. So I think I paid $3 for this one. This is The Band with their Moondog Matinee album. I have seen this one before, in music books, and people show it on the vinyl community and whatnot on YouTube. But thought for $3, I'm gonna go ahead and grab it, check it out. And then this is the other one that was priced up. They only had this one at $2, so it wasn't super expensive. But this is the Youngbloods with their album Elephant Mountain, I guess is the title of it. So yeah, I thought I'd give that one a shot. And then all the rest of these were 50 cents, and some of these are better than what I paid up for, so whatever. But we got the Best of the Guess Who. Really nice copy of this. I do have this in the collection, but this is going to be an upgrade for me. Just classic Guess Who, These Eyes, American Woman, No Sugar Tonight, Share the Land. Great stuff on there. I got a Sean Phillips self-titled album. Burton Cummings self-titled album. Barbra Streisand, My Name is Barbara album. Yeah, I don't know. I just want to hear it. And yeah, it's kind of weird. If you buy less than 10, they're $1 a piece. Or if you buy 10 or more, they're 50 cents a piece. So sometimes you got to just make 10 so you get a discount, basically. This was a really cool find. This is definitely worth a lot more than 50 cents. Edwin Starr, 25 Miles on Gordy. Still in the shrink. Really, really excellent find. Great soul music here. Glad to have found that one. Here's kind of a private press kind of singer-songwritery thing I thought looked interesting. Kate Wolf in the Wildwood Flower with Back Roads. Thought I'd go ahead and check that one out. And then the last one I picked up there, I probably have this somewhere already in the inbox, but it was a nice looking copy. It just needs to be cleaned up a bit. Pat Benatar, Crimes of Passion. So those were my finds from the Repurposed Project. Next up, Goodwill Finds. I had one really killer score at Goodwill this month. There's some awesome stuff in this stack, so hopefully you stayed tuned this long. Hopefully you come back if you got tired at first. Just some incredible stuff for a Goodwill. First one, not some super incredible, but just a nice copy of Styx's The Grand Illusion. Yeah, something you used to see stuff like this in thrift stores all the time. It's getting harder and harder to find, but yeah, I couldn't pass that one up. Rob in Boston, are you with me? Are you still around? My very first Morrissey on vinyl. We've got Viva Hate. that. Yeah, just as I said, some killer stuff for a Goodwill. Got one here from Susie and the Banshees, The Scream. A little bit of damage to the cover there, but I am not going to turn it down. Next up, we got the Boomtown Rats, A Tonic for the Troops. This one I was really happy to find. I do like this group. I'm on the lookout for more of their stuff. Osabisa, this is Welcome Home. One I did not have from them. Always incredible, incredible artwork on their covers, so definitely want to have their stuff on vinyl. Nice gatefold. Lena Lovitch, Stateless. It's on Stiff Records. This was a fun find because I just recently took another copy of it I had and cleaned it up and realized it was pretty badly warped, and I don't know if it's fixable. It's got a pretty good warp to it. But this is Anthony Phillips's The Geese and the Ghosts, so I was really happy to find another copy of it so soon after realizing the one I did have is not good. So that was a really nice find. Gang of Fours, Solid Gold. I know I've seen this one before. A Christmas one, but a pretty interesting one. Definitely was a good find for the Christmas collection. Stevie Wonder, Someday at Christmas. Very nice Christmas piece there. Here's a pretty good one. Some of you all are going to like this one, especially if you're into the punk genre, I guess is the best way to put it. This is the Dead Boys with their We Have Come for Your Children. All right, next up, got one from Jean-Luc Ponte here. This is Aurora. Maybe this is the one, no? Another one that has a mixed group of people on it that not familiar, not super big names, but looks like an interesting one. Definitely wanted to grab that one. Here's one I've seen shown before, really cool one. Richard Hell and the Voidoids, Blank Generation. Yeah, I've seen this one referenced before in the vinyl community and music books and stuff, so that was a cool find. A little bit of sleeve wear on that, but at Goodwill, I'm not going to pass it up. Gun Club, Sex Beat 81. I don't know much about a lot of these things I picked up. Definitely some stuff that's out of my wheelhouse, more in the punk sort of genre areas and the higher price sort of post-punk kind of stuff that I just haven't picked up before, haven't heard before, but yeah, really cool to find this stuff. One, I believe I do have another copy of this in the inbox before, but I hadn't heard it before. But I wanted to go ahead and grab it. Deaf School, English Boys. Another one that has a little bit of sleeve wear to it, but I wasn't going to leave it behind. Another one I'm not real familiar with, but it's listed as electronic, new wave, and punk, and I thought, what the heck, sounds good to me. This is Skids with Scared to Dance. It's kind of weird, the tiles on this cover are embossed, so pretty neat. Pretty neat sleeve there. Just a bit of hip-hop, sort of a private press kind of 12-inch single here. The Royal Knights with Jingle Bell. So yeah, Christmas hip-hop private press kind of thing on Homeboys Records. I don't know that label. It's out of Miami. So yeah, check that out at some point. UK pressing of The Very Best of Vangelis. Really nice release on that. Even got some reggae in here. Bob Marley and the Wailers, Rastaman Vibration. This one's got Positive Vibration, Roots Rock Reggae. Really neat. Got a bit of pill here. This is The Flowers of Romance, Public Image Limited. All right, next up we got Tony OK with Life in the Food Chain. This is listed as alt rock and new wave, so I thought I would check it out. I've got an upgrade copy to Emerson, Lake and Palmer's Works. I see this one fairly regularly, but it's always pretty beat. This one's not minty, but it's definitely better than the one I have, and definitely above average for what I typically see. This is the one. It's a triple. Well, it's a 2 LP set, but it's 3-way gatefold. So that was a nice one. Steve Howe's Beginnings. Really nice Roger Dean cover on this one. Next up, some Jethro Tull. Too old to rock and roll, too young to die. Jethro Tull I did not have, which I have most of their stuff, but did not have this one. This one's listed as new wave and punk on a UK pressing, The Rich Kids, with Ghost of Princess in Towers. Ghost of Princess in Towers. That one seems to be pretty collectible as well. And this one is listed as dub poetry. I have not listened to it yet before, but this is Bass Culture. Another one that seems to be pretty collectible on the Mango label. So it's a US pressing of an Antilles album, I guess. Some more reggae here. Eddie Grant, Gimme Hope, Joanna. It's actually dub reggae, which is something I've been trying to get into more, so that's pretty cool. Glad to have found that. Just 3 tracks on here. I don't know if they're really long tracks or whether it's just more of a single kind of thing. Dutch pressing. Next one, this was one I originally picked up I was like, oh, I'll put that in the Discogs store. That'll be a nice one to sell. And then as I took a closer look at it, I thought, no, I'm keeping this one. I'm putting my copy in the Discogs store. So this is Bruce Springsteen's The River, which is really nice as it is. And it's weird. It says special value on it, but there's the inner sleeves on it. It's a white label promo. So yeah, definitely want to have this in the collection. It's nicer than mine, so I think I found my copy of The River in a Goodwill about 10 years ago. So Bruce Springsteen's The River, an upgrade copy for me. Really cool to find that. So those were all from one trip to Goodwill. That's kind of how that works. I go to Goodwill 15, 20 times a month, and you're only going to have 1 or 2 good days. This next stack is from another day, shorter stack, not as incredible, but some good stuff here. Bow Wow's When the Going Get Tough, the Tough Get Going. Robert Palmer's Double Fun, which I didn't think I had this one, even though I loved Robert Palmer, and I always pick up his stuff when I see it. I was glad to have found that one. Self-titled Toto album. And Shrink, that was a nice find. Rita Coolidge, Love Me Again. K-Tel's Dance Machine. Got some good groups on that one. Do pick up the K-Tels on occasion. Linda Ronstadt's Mad Love. This one's another sort of compilation kind of thing. The Now Explosion. Another Mercury Living Presence release. This is music of Leroy Anderson with the Eastman Rochester Pops Orchestra. So this is going to be more kind of pop music, but I want to at least hear it, give it a try since it's on Mercury Living Presence. And last but not least, we have Sing Along with Santa, silly songs and sing-alongs. So it's just a fun children's Christmas record. So yeah, thank you very much. If you made it all the way to the end, you're awesome. As I said, for some reason you're not subscribed, although I think anyone who made it this far is going to be a subscriber. But you're all awesome. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day, great night. Hope you're finding some great music for yourself. And we'll see you again real soon. Cheers.